So what I've seen with people reacting to Kanye going on Alex Jones and all the things that he said, it seems to be the consensus is like, oh, he just needs to be on his medication. This is just a mental break. This is mental illness on display, and nothing else needs to be said. Just the guy needs to be on medication. Well, even if you put him on every single med in the world, all went into his body, that wouldn't change his thoughts. That wouldn't, and it just seems to be like a safe, materialistic, quickly dismiss, move on to the next thing. Oh, just take your meds and move along. What's the next thing going on? Nothing to see here. Like, no one's thought about, okay, well, given Kanye thinks these things, how could you walk someone from that position to the truth? How could you help them? If you showed up to Kanye and you said, hey, just go on medications, given all the stuff that he said about how he distrusts medication, that would fall on deaf ears. His walls would right away go up and go, I don't need to hear anything more from you. He would get on a private jet and fly away. Unless you want to go like, no, you're into forced tying him down and putting medications in his mouth, and that would solve all the world's problems. Maybe you do think that way. Maybe you do think all the wrong thoughts in the world could be solved if everyone who thought wrong was just tied down and force-fed the right medication. And then all their wrong thoughts would, disappear. So being that it seems Kanye trusts the Bible or finds it very reliable because he puts it in front of him, I think you could start from there and go, hey, Kanye, maybe I too, 10 years ago that I, had distrust in the news, and then it's hard to believe what the news spinned the news story yesterday. It's then very hard to believe what they said what happened 80 years ago. Sure, JFK might have died, but I don't believe that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. That's an example of, they put a spin on it. Yeah, they reported JFK really died, but their spin is, one guy acting alone, shooting him from behind is what made his head go back into the left. Before you even talk with him about how many people did Hitler actually have killed, and that was his real intent, just to go, hey, it seems like you trust the Bible. The Bible doesn't really say anything good about people who want to lead. The Bible says, hey, if you want to be great to Jesus, serve others. But going, hey, I want to be the dictator, I want to take over the world, I want everyone to do what I have to say, that's total opposite of what Jesus would say, what makes someone great. Jesus would not advocate for invading other countries and taking their stuff and making them follow you. Paul again says our war is not carnal, we don't fight with fleshy weapons, but our battle is spiritual. All the stuff that Hitler and the Nazis are doing, so much of it goes against Jesus and the apostles. James, Jesus' brother, says you go to war because you covet selfish things. Or you might disagree with that, and you might take a different approach from the Bible. But I think you would have to use the Bible because that is one of the sources that Kanye right now respects. So if you respect medicine and you're a genius and you know everything about giving people medications and how that changes their thoughts, okay, maybe that would work for you, that you might write out something, hey, if I ever have a wrong thought, I want you to give me this amount of medication, all the medication in the world to change my thoughts. You can write that about yourself, but if Kanye doesn't think that way, then if he doesn't find that as a reliable source, I don't think that would move him 1 inch. But if Kanye reveres the Bible, wants to promote it, I think you would go, all right, Kanye, it's good that it's in front of you, let's open it up and let's look and see what that would have to say about these issues. It doesn't just say that one group of people are bad. It says it would say that even in the days of the apostles, many false teachers had appeared. So not everyone who claims to be Christian is good with God. Just because Hitler was raised Christian, that means nothing. Right here in the book, it talks about people who were walking with them and they walked away. Or Judas betrayed Jesus. Where Jesus said, hey, there's going to be many people who say to me, Lord, Lord, and I'll say, away from me, I never knew you. And the Bible says that all people have sinned, not just Jewish people. Or Kanye, I'm not Jewish, and I can tell you that there's evil in my heart. And if the Bible's true, I can say there's evil in your heart. There's evil in everyone's heart. It's not just one group of people who are the only evil or only bad people. If the Bible's true, it says no man is good. No, not one. And I would say hey, it is really good that you believe some parts of the Bible, because you're not calling to violence to any of these people, or you're even still trying to go I should love them. Even these people who did wrong to me, I still love them. And I would try to build off of that, go hey, look how much good that has by having those brakes that you can pump on, that it keeps you from doing anything foolish that would wind you up in jail. Look how much you've changed in the last couple of years. Do you think you would have survived going through all this loss a couple of years ago if you didn't have that relationship with God? Or yeah, even by your own words, you said like, oh, God's trying to break you so you more rely on just him. That's a very good perspective to have. Can we more talk about that or more explore that? Or more, are you really ready to lose everything, but just keep your eyes on the return of Jesus? So if you're trying to help Ye, you would go, all right, Kanye, like it seemed like you really took to loving your enemies. Now let's look, what does the Bible, what does Jesus say about pride? Because you're always going off about how you're the smartest, you're the greatest. Let's look at what Jesus and what the apostles said about that. And I think if he were to take that stuff in and he were to calm down with always trying to say he was the greatest or he had to be the best, and or go like, oh, I want to be president, and go like, oh, but look, here's what Jesus said to the apostles when they wanted to be the ones bossing other people around. He said those who try to boss other people around, that they're the least. And those who are willing to serve others or to be humble, that they're the greatest. And I think if Kanye took that pressure off of himself of always trying to be the greatest or boss people around. And then you could also throw in, well, what about Hitler? Was he prideful? Was he trying to boss people around? So if you look at how Jesus and the apostles had that view, that, and you look at him, like they're at polar ends. I think those are ways you could get him to distance himself from Hitler, from the Nazis, and from some of his own narcissistic traits that get him in trouble often. By thinking he can't make any mistakes, everything he does, he has the Midas touch. And if he were to surrender that, I think that would help him in a lot of ways to not step on so many toes, to not get people upset with him. Probably his pride has gotten in some of his trouble with his business dealings, which had nothing to do with or before he said anything about Jewish people. That people might not want to work with him because of his insistence on he has to be the best, he has to be the smartest, he has to be the one in control. And the solution was sitting right there in front of him, that if he takes the Bible as a valuable source, it's an easy road to walk him through. Like, okay, well, if you accept the Bible as truth, look, here's what the Bible says about pride. Here's what the Bible says about always trying to be the best or always trying to get for these worldly things. And in some ways, he was there. Like when he's admitting, like, hey, my marriage falling apart, a lot of the responsibility is on me. So I'm not also trying to say like, oh, this is totally foreign to him. He doesn't know nothing about the Bible. There are major parts of it that he's already accepted and adopted, and seem to be when he's his most lucid. And when I say lucid, the way that I take that, you could disagree, is in line with what the Bible says, what truth is. Not what popular current opinion says, and like, oh, just because you're mainstream that you're lucid. I don't know.